Miles he's just a delightful little boy. He's just an amazing little creature, and he has so much that he does now and that he's going to do.
One of Miles Domino's favorite things to do, bring the mail into his home. The family's new home here in the sleepy town of Belton, Missouri. The Dominos still getting used to Belton. They never thought they'd end up here. That wasn't until they learned Miles was developmentally delayed. Missouri's First Steps program gave the toddler the individualized instruction he needed. But at the age of 3, Miles was no longer eligible. The family's dilemma then, how and where to send a nonverbal 3-year-old to preschool.
Our backs were against the wall. We were pretty much in a state of panic.
At a price tag easily topping $100,000 a year, private school was out of the question. The Dominos simply couldn't afford it. So they, like thousands of parents in Missouri with developmentally disabled kids, were forced to make a tough decision. They found a public preschool able to instruct Miles, packed up the family, and moved to be near the school.
It was 14 months of putting our house up on the market and leaving, and with a child with special needs and having to get up and go back and forth. It was pretty grueling.
That is unfortunate that you have to uproot and transfer and move a family, that kind of disruption, in order to receive an education that we call a public free education.
Missouri Representative Dwight Scharnhorst is intimately aware of the struggles families of developmentally disabled children face. His grandson Bryce was diagnosed with autism, and every other weekend, Dwight was Bryce's primary caregiver.
I was fortunate to know one of what I call the perfect people. He was a very happy child, which made it even better. I mean, giggle, laugh, wrestle. You couldn't get rough enough with Brycey. You know, he'd do flips and all that stuff, so it was a lot of fun.
Scharnhorst is grateful for the 6 years he had with Bryce, and he says his grandson will never be forgotten. Bryce passed away last April following an epileptic seizure. But his name lives on, says Scharnhorst, in the form of this pending legislation commonly referred to as Bryce's bill. House Bill 1886 would provide tuition tax credit scholarship money to thousands of Missouri families, like the Dominos, grappling with where and how to educate the developmentally disabled child.
This legislation now has reached a point to where we need to get some sort of funding mechanism to these parents. These kinds of programs are very expensive.
Most of the children come here with one-on-one support.
Jeannie Marshall is the chief program officer for the Judavine Center for Autism.
Okay, look at me.
Marshall calls tuition tax scholarships a win-win.
It's a win-win situation. It's a tax write-off for people who are looking for that type of thing, and the write-off goes to such a critical need in our state. If parents have the option, if their school is not working out, to find an alternative resource to help their child, that's crucial.
It's more prevalent than childhood cancer. It's more prevalent than cystic fibrosis, deafness, AIDS. I mean, and think about all the funding dollars and all the things that you see out there to help people with those kinds of challenges about kids with autism. Until just recently, you were never hearing anything about them. You know, so we're way behind. I mean, we've got to step it up on the autism front to help these kids.
Is that you and your brother?
Step it up, says Scharnhorst, for all developmentally disabled children in Missouri, regardless of their zip code.
I think their quality of life is, you know, it falls short. But I think they deserve the same opportunity or the same instruction, the same comprehensive training, and the ability to improve their life. This is the state of Missouri, all 5 million of us.